Oh, my people, hello, how are you? How you doing? Hope you're very well. Welcome back to the woods. I hope the creak noise doesn't distract you too much. I've already taken my bathroom break. You might want to take yours. No shame. There's been something that has been revealed to me very early on in life, and I would like to talk about it in length. Anger and murder. Something our Messiah corrects on his Sermon on the Mount. Actually, one of the first things that he addresses. And it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of self-understanding. So much to talk about, so much to say, so much to read. So let's get into it. Much love. Well then, now that we're all comfortable, I'm actually sitting on a rock in the middle of the stream right now. Look at this place just for a second. It's foggy. It's mossy. It's the dark, dense woods, and it's almost like the scene of a horror movie, isn't it? Could be. Anyways, quite the setting for murder and anger. Where do we even start on this topic? Like I said, I want to talk at length on this. We are going to be traipsing through the entirety of the book, as much as I can find. Post in the comment section down below if I missed anything. I'm sure there's going to be much. But where do we start? I'd like to start personally. As children, we start learning things. And very early on in life, I kind of noticed the trait of anger and murder from the heart. And let me tell you, that realization has really helped me out. It helped me out to have patience, to really try to execute love amongst everyone. Not only my brothers, but my stranger, and people who I have disagreements with. To understand, right? So, little story. Story time. Us as kids, I grew up pretty simple. No video games. There was a curfew on TV. Simple. Pre-cell phone. Us as neighborhood kids at the age of 10, 11, 12, you know the age. We would be outside playing street football. It was our game of choice. Lots of bruises and bloody noses, and we all loved each other, and it was great. Until we didn't. And then a week would go by. Anyway, something would happen. The ball would go flubbing off into the ditch or the woods or what have you. And a finger would be pointed in blame. And as kids, at that formidable age, we go, that's not what happens. And, well, we all know that there's only one truth. And there's witnesses to that one truth. And so an argument ensues. And that's where anger starts. That's where somebody's personal pride kicks in. And that's where, as children, murder of the heart flares. So, I noticed it quite early on. And I realized there was really no point. So I would just kind of leave. And the two in question usually were brothers. And they would fight amongst each other for the rest of the evening. Sometimes in through the week. And that's a whole nother topic called holding a grudge. But I think it stems from anger and murder in the heart. Anyways, so let's crack open the book, huh? Get a glimpse of, try to get a grasp of what all that murder has entailed with itself. I want to really quickly turn over to Matthew 23. It's a chapter called Woe to You. Now he's rebuking, our Messiah is rebuking the scribes and Pharisees of the time. Woe to you, O scribes and Pharisees, because you are like whitewashed tombs, which outwardly indeed look well, but inside are filled with dead men's bones and all uncleanness. So you too outwardly indeed appear righteous to men, but inside you are filled with hypocrisy and lawlessness. Lawlessness. Well, if we read in the law, we are not to murder. We'll get there. I think we need to actually start from the beginning on this whole thing and work our way through. And most of this is going to be reads. We all have our interior thoughts, right? We all have our interior stories that these words will pertain to you. I don't want to be here all day and all night talking about absolutely everything. Bereshith 4. And Aram knew Hawa. Some call her Eve, his wife. And she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have gained a man, a son. And again she gave birth to his brother, Havel, Abel. And Havel became a keeper of sheep, but Cain became a tiller of the ground, much like his father, like son. And it came to be in the course of time that Cain brought an offering of fruit of the ground to Yahweh. Mind you, the ground that was cursed. And Havel brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat. And Yahweh looked to Havel in his offering, but he did not look to Cain in his offering. And Cain was very wroth, angry, right? And his face fell. And Yahweh said to Cain, why is he wroth towards you? Who? And why is your face fallen? Is it not if you do good, you are to be accepted? And if you do not do good, towards the door is a sin. He is lying, waiting, and towards you is his desire, and you must rule over him. Who? I venture to say the adversary. And we'll get to that. There's another book I'm going to open up too called the Book of Hermas. It talks a bit about that. And Cain told Havel, his brother. And it came to be when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Havel, his brother. He killed him. And Yahweh said to Cain, "Where is Havel, your brother?" And he said, "I do not know." And he said, "What have you done, Cain? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. And now you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. If you till the ground, it shall no longer yield its strength to you. You shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth." And Cain said to Yahweh, the Most High, "My punishment is too great. You have driven me from the face of the ground, and I'm hidden from your face. I shall be a fugitive, and it shall be that anyone who finds me kills me." And Yahweh said to him, "If anyone kills Cain, he shall be avenged sevenfold." And Yahweh set up a sign for Cain, lest anyone finds him and strikes him. So, with an act, there's repercussions and law being instated. You shall not murder, because further on in Bereshith, Genesis 4, we have Lamech, further down the genealogy. And Lamech said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, "Hear my voice, wives of Lamech. Listen to my words. For I have killed a man. For wounding me he did, even a young man for hurting me. For Cain is avenged sevenfold, and for this act Lamech is avenged 77-fold. For breaking of a command, there's even further recompense and judgment." So, let's go to the law, right? Let's go to the law. No, wait, let's not go to the law. I want to talk about this book of Hermas, and then we'll go to the law, and then, well, we have a few things to go through. So, I hope you got your tea ready. I hope you took your bathroom break. Let's get into this book of Hermas, however you pronounce that. And there's some highlights. I don't know if you can see that. There's some highlights that I'm just going to kind of go over this to kind of keep to the point, if you will. Be patient and long-suffering. For if you shall be patient, the Ruach HaKodesh, the set-apart Spirit, which dwells in you, shall be pure, and not be darkened by any evil Ruach, Spirit, but being filled of joy shall be enlarged, and feast in the body, in which it dwells, and serve Yahweh with joy and great peace. But if any anger shall overtake you, presently the Ruach HaKodesh, which is in you, will be straitened, and seek to depart from you. I am so reminded of Galatians, 5, verse 20, 22, something like that. The fruits of the Spirit, the fruits of the Ruach. You are to constantly be thinking about those things and trying to exercise them. I have a feeling this is why. Because the Spirit that dwells inside you via your gift that you've received from accepting the Messiah into your heart wants to be happy. And if it's not happy, it wants to leave. Says the book of Hermas. For it is choked by the evil Ruach, and has not the liberty of serving Yahweh. He is grieved by anger, and this anger is very destructive to man. The soul is distressed, and its prayer is not profitable without him. If you shall not guard yourself from it, you shall lose your hope with all your house, says the book of Hermas. For all such as have repented and have been justified by the most set-apart messenger, who is a minister of salvation. Hear the wickedness of anger, how evil and hurtful it is, and how it overthrows the servants, Valhim. It overthrows the doubtful and those that are destitute of belief. This fury arises from so many evil principles. It works a great and incurable sin. For when all these things are in the same man, in which the Ruach HaKodesh dwells, the vessel cannot contain them, but runs over. And because the Ruach, being tender, cannot tarry with the evil one. It's been said that you cannot have two masters, right? Well, I'd venture to say that the temple, your body, cannot house two masters. For that Ruach, because of the evil one, it departs and dwells with him that is meek, teachable, humble. That man becomes destitute of the Ruach HaKodesh and is afterwards filled with wicked spirits and is blinded with evil thoughts. We're all vessels. We're all vessels for something. Take good heed, therefore, that you neglect not this commandment. For if you shall obey this commandment, then shall you also be able to observe the other commandments, which I command you. Guard belief and fear and repentance. For the evil way has not a good end, but has many stumbling blocks. It is rugged and full of thorns, and leads to destruction. And it is hurtful to all who such walk in it. There are 2 angels with one man. 2 messengers. One of righteous, and the other of iniquity. Hold on. Remember all those little cartoons of little guy on this side and crazy guy on that side? And they're sitting there just arguing with each other? The book of Hermas. Hear, says he, and understand. The messenger of righteousness is mild and modest and gentle and quiet. When therefore he gets into your heart, immediately he talks with you of righteousness, of modesty, of chastity, of bountifulness, of forgiveness, of charity and piety. Kind of reminds you of the fruits of the Spirit, doesn't it? When all these things come into your heart, know that the angel, the messenger of righteousness, is with you. Wherefore, hearken to him, and know his works. Learn also the works of the angel of iniquity. Learn. He is first of all bitter, and angry, and foolish, and his works are pernicious. What is pernicious? Well, pernicious is having a harmful effect, and overthrow the servants of Elohim. He wars with them, those that keep the commands and have the testimony. When therefore these things come into your heart, know that by him is he working, that this angel, messenger of iniquity. And I said to him, Sir, how shall I understand these things? Hear, he says, and understand. When anger overtakes you, or bitterness, know that he is with you. As also when the desire of many things, and of the best meats, and of drunkenness, when the love of what belongs to others, pride, much speaking, and ambition, and all the like things come upon you. When therefore these things arise in your heart, know that the angel of iniquity is with you. The messenger, the influencer, the adversary. Seeing therefore you know his works, depart from them all. Give no credit to him, because his works are evil, and become not the servants of Elohim. It is good to follow the angel of righteousness. If therefore you shall follow him, and submit to his good works, you shall live to Elohim. And as many as shall submit to his work shall live also to Elohim. Influence. This is spiritual warfare, my friends. Be on guard. Ephesians 6:12. So, that being all said, let's go to the book of the law. A couple of things. Well, a couple of things. Let's go to Exodus, Shemoth 20. And it is raindropping on my book. So, have a little bleed through here. Really easy. Chapter 20, verse 13. You do not murder. Period. Right? Later on in the book, we're gonna discover that has a little more implications. But, I mean, it's plain and simple. You do not murder. So let's go over to chapter 21. And again, I got some, I don't know if you can see, I just got some highlights. Keeping the context of all this. Hope you can follow along. These are the right rulings which you are to set before them. Them. Who's them? The children of Israel. His people. And if we are grafted in through the Messiah, we are spiritual Israel. He who strikes a man so that he dies shall certainly be put to death. But if he did not lie in wait, but Elohim delivered him into his hand, then I shall appoint you a place where he is to flee. We'll get into that. But when a man acts presumptuously against his neighbor to kill him by treachery, you are to take him even from my slaughter place to die. Well, nowadays it's more like you are to be judged at the end-all be-all of things. And he who strikes his father or his mother shall certainly be put to death. And he who curses his father or his mother shall certainly be put to death. Brian, I thought you were talking about murder. This is about cursing. I'm talking about murder in the heart. Hatred. Okay, let's not forget that. And when a man strikes his male or female servant with a rod so that he dies under his hand, he shall certainly be avenged. Much like in Genesis there. That was the original arrangement. If you kill a man, you shall be avenged. And when men strive, and they shall smite a pregnant woman, and her child comes out, yet there is no injury, he shall certainly be punished, according as the woman's husband lays upon him. Vengeance. And he shall give through the judges. But if there is an injury, then you shall give life for life. We're going to turn back to Bereshith here in a second. Eye for an eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, and lash for lash. Let's go to Bereshith. I think 9. Yes. So this is where Noah and his descendants, his sons, walk out of the ark after the flood. And the fear of you and the dread of you is upon every beast of the earth, and of every bird of the heavens, and of all that creeps on the ground, and all the fish of the sea. Into your hand I have given them. Every creeping creature that lives is food for you, and I have given you all, as I gave the green plants before. But you do not eat flesh with its life, its blood. But only your blood for your lives I require. Lash for lash, tooth for tooth. From the hand of every beast I require it, and from the hand of man, from the hand of every man's brother, I require the life of man. Eye for eye. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man his blood is shed. For in the image of Elohim has he made man. It's a little poetic, isn't it? So, for if there is an injury, then you shall give life for life. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, excuse me, and lash for lash. Folks, this is equal weights and measures. Just judgment. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's turn to Numbers 35. There's a big section. Big section. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, You shall choose cities to be cities of refuge for you, that the manslayer who struck somebody mistakenly, okay, there's aspects to all this. Aspects to the law of you shall not murder. Not shall now. Do not murder. If somebody strikes someone mistakenly, that they shall flee there. And they shall be cities of refuge for you from the Redeemer, and the manslayer is not to die until he stands before the congregation for right ruling. Folks, this is like jail before sentencing. Still in standing today, isn't it? But let's move down a little bit. Verse 16. But if he has stricken him with an instrument of iron so that he dies, he is a murderer. The murderer shall certainly be put to death. And if he has stricken him with a stone in the hand, by which one could die, move down. Or if he has stricken him with a wooden instrument that he could kill, the murderer shall certainly be put to death. The Redeemer of blood himself puts the murderer to death. When he meets him, he puts him to death. And if he thrusts him through in hatred, or throws an object at him while lying in wait, so that he dies, or in enmity he strikes him with his hand so that he dies, the one who strikes him shall certainly be put to death, for he is a murderer. The Redeemer of blood puts the murderer to death when he meets him. But if he pushes him suddenly, without enmity, it's a mistake. Or throws an object at him without lying in wait, it's an accident. Or uses a stone by which a man could die, throwing at him without seeing him, so that he dies. Again, it's an accident. The congregation shall judge between him who struck someone and the Redeemer of blood, according to these right rulings. and the congregation shall rescue the manslayer from the hand of the Redeemer of blood. No doubt the Redeemer of blood shall be very angry and want to reciprocate. So the congregation snatches the one who committed, manslaughter, accidentally, snatches him away from the Redeemer, and he shall remain in a city of refuge, there until the death of the high priest who was anointed with the set-apart oil. But the manslayer, at any time, if at any time, goes outside the limits of the city of refuge where he fled, and the Redeemer of blood finds him outside the limits of the city of refuge, and the Redeemer of blood executes the manslayer, he is not guilty of blood. Because the person who is in the city of refuge should have remained in the city of refuge until the death of the high priest. Folks, this is the rules. But after the death of the high priest, the manslayer is to return to the city of his possession. And these shall be for a law of right ruling to you throughout your generations in all your dwellings. Whoever strikes a being, the murderer, shall be executed by the mouth of the witnesses. But one witness does not bear witness against someone to die. There must be multiple. 2 or more, not one. And take no ransom. And do not profane the land where you are. For blood profanes the land, much like Abel's blood. Havel cried out from the ground. And the land is not pardoned for the blood that is shed on it, except by the blood of him who shed it. And do not defile the land which you inhabit, in your midst of which I dwell. For I, Yahweh, am dwelling in the midst of the children of Israel, physically and spiritually. Okay. That's the law, as it is written. So we shall turn to a bit of a prophet, Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah. And let's get a little bit of a highlight read here from chapter 7. The word that came to Yirmiyahu from Yahweh, saying, Stand in the gate of the house of Yahweh, and you shall proclaim there this word, and shall say, Hear the word of Yahweh, all you of Yehuda, Judah, who enter at the gates to bow before me. Thus said Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, Make your ways and your deeds good, and I let you dwell in this place. Do not trust in these false words, saying, This is the Hakal, the temple of Yahweh. For if you truly make your ways and your deeds good, if you truly do right rulings between a man and his neighbor, if you do not oppress the sojourner, the fatherless, and the widow, and do not shed innocent blood in this place, or walk after other mighty ones to your own evil, then I shall let you dwell in this place, in the land that I gave your fathers forever and ever. See, you are trusting in false words, which do not profit. Every word that we trust in must be true, not false. So be on guard. Stealing, murdering in the heart, and committing adultery, and swearing falsely, and burning incense to Baal, and walking after other mighty ones you have not even known. And you came and stood before me in the house which is called by my name, and said, we have been delivered in order to do all of these abominations. Has this house, which is called by my name, it has become a den of robbers in your eyes? Look, even I myself have seen it, declares the Most High. Let's read one thing. And you came and stood before me in this house, which is called by my name, saying, we have been delivered in order to do all of these abominations. Well, what is an abomination? Folks, I encourage you to look at the list of abominations. Look up in Deuteronomy. And then go to Revelation and see if abominations is acceptable in the kingdom. You have been saved through your acceptance and belief. But that is not a license to continue in abomination. Let's go to Matthew. Matthew 5, verse 8. Blessed are the clean in heart, the loving, because they shall see Elohim. Further over in 5, verse 21. You heard it was said of those of old, the Old Testament, you shall not murder. Do not murder. And whoever murders shall be liable to judgment. But I say to you that whoever is wroth with his brother without a cause shall be liable to judgment. And whoever says to his brother, Racha, shall be liable to the Sanhedrin. But whoever says, you fool, shall be liable to the fire of Gehenna. If then you bring your gift to the slaughter place, the temple. Where is the temple now? Here. All of this. And there, remember that your brother holds whatever against you, that there is strife, that there is unrest, that there is disagreement that has not been settled. Leave your gift there before the slaughter place and go. First, make peace with your brother, and then come and offer your gift. Marcus, the next book over. Chapter 7, start at 20. And he said, what comes out of a man, that is what defiles him. Out of the mouth speaks the heart. What you think in your mind is a condition of your heart. From within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil reasonings, adulteries, whorings, murders, thefts, greedy desires, wickedness, deceit, indecency, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, and foolishness. All these wicked matters come from within, and those are what defile a man. Those are his abominations. Yohanan 3, 19 and 20. And this is the judgment, that the light has come into the world, and that men love the darkness rather than the light, for their works are wicked. For everyone who is practicing evil matters hates the light and does not come to the light, lest his works should be exposed. John 8, 37. I'll go for a little while. I know that you are the seed of Abraham, but you seek to kill me, because my word has no place in you. I speak what I have seen with my father, and you do what you have heard from your father. The scribes and the Pharisees, they answered and said to him, Abraham is our father. Joshua said to them, if you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham. But now you seek to kill me, a man who has spoken to you the truth, which I heard from Ahim, my father. Abraham did not do this. Want to kill me. You do the works of your father. Then they said to him, we are not born of whoring. We have one father, Elohim. And Joshua said, if Elohim were your father, you would love me, for I come forth from Elohim, and am here, for I have not come of myself, but he sent me. Why do you not know what I say? Because you are unable to hear my word. You are of your father, the devil, the adversary, and the desires of your father you wish to do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and has not stood in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks the lie, he speaks of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And because I speak the truth, you do not believe me. I do not seek my own esteem. There is one who is seeking and is judging. Truly, truly, I say to you, if anyone guards my word, he shall never see death at all. In the grand scheme of everything, eternal life. Right? You still with me? I know, it's getting a little long. Almost there. A few more things. For this, you shall not commit adultery. You shall not murder. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness. You shall not covet. And if there is any other command, it is summed up in this: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no evil to a neighbor. Therefore, love is completion of the Torah. And do this, knowing the time that is already the hour for us to wake up from sleep. For now, our deliverance is nearer than we did believe. Very interesting. 1 John 2, chapter 3, 15. Everyone hating. Where does hatred stem from? Hating his brother is a murderer. And you know that no murderer has everlasting life staying in him. Because there's standards, right? There's, well, think of this way. It's an abomination of heart. And no abomination shall enter in through the gates. I don't know if you heard that. But we'll keep reading. Our Messiah's brother, James, Yaakov. If you truly accomplish the sovereign law according to Scripture, you shall love your neighbor as yourself, you do well. But if you show partiality, you commit sin, being found guilty by the Torah as transgressors. For whoever shall guard all the Torah and yet stumble in one point, he is guilty of all. For he who said, "Do not commit adultery," also said, "Do not commit murder." Now, if you do not commit adultery, but you do murder, you have become a transgressor of the Torah. Well, of course, because in the Torah it says, "Do not murder," so why are you committing murder? Let's go down to chapter 3. Look at the ships. Okay, this is a lovely little talking point. Look at the ships, too. Although they are so big, are driven by strong winds, they are turned by a very small rudder. Wherever the pilot intends, so too the tongue is a little member, yet boasts greatly. See how a little fire kindles a great forest. Just takes one little spark, right? Think of all the forest fires out there. One little cigarette. And the tongue is a fire. The world of unrighteousness. Among our members the tongue is set, and one defiling the entire body. And the setting of fire, the wheel of life, and it is set on fire by Gehenna. But no man is able to tame the tongue. It is unruly, evil, filled with deadly poisons. Out of the same mouth proceeds blessing and cursing. My brothers, this should not be so. That is to be a hypocrite. If you claim to have the Spirit, yet you are talking an abomination. It's a hypocrite. And our Messiah said, "Woe to you, hypocrites." Let's go down to chapter 4. You desire and do not have. You murder and are jealous and are unable to obtain. You strive and fight, and you do not possess because you do not ask. But we must ask for deliverance of these things. If we don't, they might remain. Foolish accompaniment spoil good habits. Think of the book of Hermas. Hermas. Good angel, bad angel. You cannot have two masters. Choose now this day who you serve. And keep your spiritual armor up. Let's end this off. I hope you've stuck with me. This is readings to get a sense of murder in the heart. Blessed are those doing his commands. It's Revelation 22. So that the authority shall be theirs unto the tree of life, and to enter through the gates of the city. But outside are the dogs, the ones who return to their sins, and those who enchant with drugs, the ones giving enchantment to others, and those who whore, those who commit spiritual adultery, and the murderers, the ones who have hate in their hearts towards their brother or sister, and the idolaters. That's also spiritual adultery. And all who love to do falsehood, keeping not with the truth, but loving in their own reasoning, self-righteousness. Folks, look deep within yourself. Analyze. Repent. Ask for forgiveness. That's kind of what that means. And straighten your path. Walk forward. Be washed clean. That was cold. Keep in the faith. Be the light. And love. Do not murder. Peace.